Dave, as a teacher and a coach, when you see a player that maybe is younger, like Icky, who maybe still has kind of some of the development issues that he had at NC State from a pass protection standpoint, how can a new voice at a position coach or maybe a coordinator help a player develop just with that clean slate?
Yeah, it's really cool, right? Just a natural transition with the coaches who really don't know Icky. Watch the film but really don't know him. Icky doesn't know them. So again, it's the relationship part of it, and then the excitement of saying, okay, take a deep breath. Here's a new group. Today is today. Let's just go out on that first day and let that be the first day. No preconceived notions about what a guy can or can't do. How about let's just make it about the fundamentals of football? And if we could all do that, with every position and just say, yeah, that was yesterday, but today's today. And we have the information, but so committed to just incrementally improving and being committed to the fundamentals. And I think, it's just a really cool natural transition.
Hey Dave, compared to when you came in the league back in 10, are receivers more NFL ready than college, and if so?
I would say so. I think that you talk about flag football leagues, I know I have friends who have kids in high school, 7-on-7 tournaments, the sheer amount of releases, routes, catches, and this goes for the secondary as well, and tight ends, right? Running backs included. The style of football that these players are playing anymore, it makes them really malleable in the pass game. So there's a lot that you can do. You see that, especially, I've always said this about the air raid quarterbacks. I know they always would get there was always kind of a negative connotation to it, but if you just look at the amount of pass attempts, whether it was behind the line of scrimmage or 5 yards or down the field, you look at just volume, right? It's like you're a baseball player. How many swings, how many at-bats have you had in your life? If you look at these football players who come out of these more passing type of offenses, the tempo, they're playing 80 and 90 plays a game. They've played so much more football across the board that they're more ready to just go and face the challenges that a new coverage might present to them or a really skilled defender might present to them. I think the challenge really happens really in the box. The style of protection, the style of runs that happen, and not just going, play to play from a tempo standpoint, where, hey, I may not want to chase this ball all the way down the field because we're going to go another play right now where they'll kind of just make their way down there. So anyway, I know you didn't ask that, but just some of the things that we're seeing out of the modern athlete.
Dave, we brought a bunch of coaches from Tampa with you as far as...
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
Good to see you.
As far as Brad, obviously the relationship there, but what did you see with Goody and Gilbert that first year that made you want to bring them on part of your staff?
It's a commitment to development. That's what we're all about. We're developmentally minded staff. And in Tampa, I went in there day one and said, hey, guys, these are our players. This is who we have. So let's just invest in these guys. Let's pour into them. Let's get every last drop we can out of these guys. And so what I saw from Goody and Joe was their commitment to really just be there for our guys, and then also watching the run game struggle and struggle and struggle and start to climb. And we were 75 yards a game, and then we were 85, and then we were 96, and at the last, I think, 4 or 5, we were about 105 yards a game. And it was like, it only happened because of Goody's commitment to running runs that our guys could block well. That specifically, instead of being really stubborn about a system, we have a great system that's flexible, but watching their commitment to our guys to say, yes, but they hit this combo better. These types of run styles are better for Rashad White, are better for, Bob Hainsey, and my boys there, and Cody, and so just kind of looking at specifically our guys, when you see that, and then I found out I had a chance for them to come with me, I was like, I can't pass up on this, because I know we'll go to Carolina and we'll be able to become what our offensive line tells us we can become, what our running backs are so good at, and we'll be able to grow and invest and develop our players that way.
The track record developing offensive line to show didn't help out.
Absolutely. You switch tackles and both guys play fantastically, and to have Joe a part of what we're doing in Carolina with Icky and with Moten, at tackle, it really gives us a chance to continue to build and grow on the offensive line.
Dave, how has your life changed in the last couple months?
Oh, yeah, drastically. I think on the positive side, I would say kind of fits my character a little bit. I'm all over the place. I like to be involved with this, involved with that, curious about things I don't know about. So being able to sit with the defensive staff, for 2 to 4 hours, I kind of split up the day where schematically we do offense in the morning, defense in the afternoons, and then we flip-flop. So like that part of it just allowed me to really, take notes, learn, grow, and then really to be a part of like the personnel side of it and all those conversations, free agency, really hit me like a ton of bricks. I wasn't prepared for that part of it emotionally I didn't even coach the guys, that end up going other places. I didn't even coach them, but I felt the emotional connection after watching a full season, after talking to our defensive staff, and I wasn't ready for how that was going to hit me from an emotional standpoint.
At the combine, you said that distance would actually help you in the evaluation.
That's what I thought, and I felt like it gave me a really objective opinion. And then once free agency started to happen live, learning how fast it comes at you, and then all of a sudden it's like, here's goes, and then here's plan B, plan B is gone, we got to go to C, and it's like just trying to, fit all the pieces together. That was really challenging, and I felt like I found myself during the week of free agency really like up early, just kind of like, okay, where do we go from here now? Or up late, just trying to watch the film and watching, okay, these are the guys that are now available. And feeling myself be so emotionally invested. I did not anticipate that happening that way.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. When you look at the defense objectively, where you're at right now at outside linebacker, how important is it to add somebody there, or do you feel like you can play with the guys you've got at this moment?
I feel confident about playing with the guys we have right now. DJ Wanham, I don't want to speak specifically about his injury and all that stuff, but he's rehabbing. But from his play on film, this is a starting caliber outside linebacker with pass rush. He's versatile. I'm really excited about him. DJ Johnson, who we have high hopes for, as another developmental outside linebacker guy, Eku Leota, a guy who contributed last year, Chicago game, showed flashes, could set the edge, had a little bit of pass rush there too. So, to get Barno back healthy, because he was starting to add some versatile pass rush with his speed. So I feel like we have a good group of guys. Would you love to have just somebody on the other side that, scares the daylights out of people? Absolutely. I think there's a factor that you can to really make it an elite pass rush group. I wouldn't say we're there right now, but I think that would really put us into a situation you felt great about the outside line. But I feel confident about the guys you have right now.
Tight end's kind of a similar situation.
Very similar.
Where are you at with Tommy and that group?
So we love Tommy going back. Pat McPherson and I, going back to the Seattle days, we loved him coming out and kind of watched him progress. So we're excited about Tommy, what we can do with him. We see him similar to some of the guys we had in Seattle with Kobe Parkinson, Noah Fant, kind of in that mold. Ian Thomas, same thing, just having the bigger guy who also has the ability to stretch the field, and so I'm excited about that group. I feel good about those two, about Sully, his continued development. We had Sully in Seattle, and then to see him continue to develop as that more pass catching threat. But I feel good about the group in general. You're always going to need 4 or 5, so I'd love to add another versatile Swiss Army knife type of tight end to the group.
Dave, is Ron going to miss OTAs?
Yes, he should. Yeah.
You'll miss them?
Yes.
Okay, and what about camp?
I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Okay.
That whole situation. I don't want to comment too much on that.
Quarterback wise, obviously with the new QB3 rule, where are you at? Last year they didn't take advantage of that. You guys did.
Yeah.
Where are you at with the QB3, and how important is it to kind of build that structure beyond Bryce and Andy, just from some support positions?
I think I think there's a couple of things. Number one, practically from a health standpoint, having a third quarterback that is trained to run your system, so important, right? Because then you're not just picking off someone else's roster with somebody who's been learning new words and and different things. I think it's something that every team should take advantage of, and I would love for that player, that practice squad emergency quarterback player, to always be available on game day. I know that there's specific games you can call the quarterback up to be available as an emergency third, but I think we saw situations like with the Rams and the Vikings last year not having that person in the building, and then all of a sudden option one goes to option two. Now he's not available. Now you're really in a tough spot. I just would hate to ever be in that spot. So I love it so that's just from an availability standpoint. But then if you think about, for me, it adds value to the room. Some people see the third as a developmental role, as a future two. I don't see it that way. I would love to have two guys behind your starter who have real playing time, real game experience, because as we go around the room and we start talking about these defenses, they all have an experience against this defensive coordinator or that, and they add that value, and it really elevates the starter. So if you think about Kyle Trask didn't have a lot of game experience in Tampa, but he had been in the league for a couple years. John Wolford played a lot, played against me in Seattle, played in a similar system. So guys like that really bring a lot of. And then the way that we do it in our room is, it's not always Bryce talking, it's not always me talking, it's Bryce, and then we're going to go to Andy, and go, Andy, okay, take us through the progression. He'll start saying it, and then he'll add some other part of it that he's always used for all of his years of playing quarterback, and I'll go, wait, say that again? Bryce, did you hear that? Oh yeah, so when this backer moves over this way, then I know I can start over here on this side. That's awesome. Everybody write that down. So the more guys you can bring into the room that way, it really elevates the whole room.
Dave, you were in this division last year. How do you handicap the NFC South?
I think we got better. I think that the whole division, if you look across the teams, adding Clint Kubiak to New Orleans, Dennis Allen's already fantastic as far as the defense. He's really hard to go against. You look at Tampa, adding a guy like Liam Cohen, making sure that they got Baker and Mike back. Antoine Winfield, huge pieces down there. Some of the youth that they drafted on defense last year, they're going to be tough to deal with, Go to Atlanta. I have the highest respect for Raheem. Went against him for years. He's a fantastic coach. They add Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins, if you look at some of the availability of targets down the field last year that Desmond wasn't able to capitalize on, I see Kirk really being able to hit those. It's this is a dangerous division, Now you get Ajero and myself connected here in Carolina to really build an offense that's going to be balanced, that's going to be attacking and versatile, with Bryce adding some skill. I really just think people are going to be really surprised about the NFC South this year and the level of football that comes out of it.
Can you compete for the division crown, or is this a longer runway?
I think we're going to be competitive for the division this year, and what I'm saying is, if we play good football, if we can get the football right like we believe we can, and we can take care of the football, let the numbers take care of themselves, we'll be in the hunt. We'll be in every single game, which will give us an opportunity to be in the hunt for the division at the end. And if we can play great defense and run it, it'll carry us right late into the season.
How do you plan to talk to your team about expectations? Because a lot of people might not necessarily agree with what you just said.
Yeah, for me, it starts with the division. So you're looking to win the division. Every year, you'd love to win the championship, but it all starts off by winning the division. How can we do that? And then you work backwards from there. Well, we got to get our football right so we can win each game, and taking advantage of all the opportunities to just get better incrementally. So it brings us back to today. We got to continue to be competitive in free agency, to look what's out there. We got to prepare like crazy for the draft. We got to have a great offseason of teaching our systems, teaching our language, making sure that we can get a unified communication. Because if we can streamline our communication, then we'll be able to go where we want to really fast. And that's kind of the highway is communication. So making sure we remove synonyms, get on the same page that way. That's what competing in this time of the year looks like. And that'll lead us right into training camp and preseason. Every one of those games is going to be a huge opportunity for us to become us, to see what version of football we want to play. We want to walk off of that field saying, this is Panthers football. It's tough, it's fast, it's physical, it's really intelligent style of play. And that's kind of going to be our approach.
Dave, as you go through the pre-draft process, have you seen any effect from NIL as far as new players or experience level or anything?
I haven't really on a personal level, but I'm sure we'll be able to speak more to that as we gather more information as the classes pile up with the NIL thing.
Dave, how do you see your backfield?
Yeah, I'm fired up about it. You know, I'm excited to see what Miles can do. I know Chuba got a lot more opportunities last year and saw the style, the toughness. That's what we're looking for. You know, and then really just like from there, it's about, you know, building the front the right way, getting the system so everyone's on the same page, and really demanding the attitude and style of runs. But I'm excited about our backfield.
Do you want to see one guy step forward, or do you not might be something else?
Competition. See who wants it the most, right? See who's hungry, runs angry. And that'll be the person that gets the ball the most.